Most people don't go broke because of one small mistake. They go broke because a bunch of small ones over a long period of time. If you're working hard but your money never seems to grow, it's probably because one of these 5 wealth killers are quietly draining it. Fix these and your money will finally start to grow for you instead of against you. Let's start with the one that's hurting more people now than anyone else. High interest debt is one of the biggest things holding people back financially. The crazy part is most people don't even realize how bad it is for you because it feels so normal nowadays. Credit cards, personal loans, buy now, pay later plans, they all look harmless. But the second you carry a balance, you're paying ridiculous interest rates. If you owe $5,000 on a credit card at 25% APR and you just made the minimum payment, you'd be paying that off for years. And on top of that, you'll end up paying the bank thousands of dollars in interest. If a 25% return on investment sounds crazy, then a 25% interest rate should sound even worse. That's what high interest does. It flips compounding against you. Instead of your money growing for you, it's growing for someone else. And the only fix is to attack first. You could use the avalanche method to pay off the high interest rates first, or use the snowball method if you think quick wins will keep you motivated. Once those balances are gone, it's like giving yourself an instant raise. No extra work, just no more money leaking out in interest. That's when your cash flow finally starts working for you instead of against you. High interest debt destroys your cash flow, but there's actually an interest that could be even worse, even if most people don't see it that way. The next wealth killer we'll be talking about is car debt. Car debt is probably the most normalized bad debt out there. Everyone thinks it's totally fine to finance a $50,000 car on a $50,000 salary. But that's not transportation, that's liability on wheels. The second you drive off the lot, your car value decreases by 20% sometimes in the first year. And on top of that, you're paying interest on something that's losing value every single month. Here's the honest truth. Your car value shouldn't be worth more than your investment. If your car payment looks more like your rent payment, that's an issue. You've trapped yourself in something shiny while it's quietly killing your wealth. I'm not saying you can't enjoy a car, I'm just saying it should fit your financial situation. A simple rule of thumb is that if you can't pay it off in 3 to 4 years, or you have to finance more than half of the car's value, it's too much car. Buy used, buy reliable, just don't let your ego decide what you drive. Every dollar that's not going towards an oversized car payment could be used towards investing for your future. And car debt is really just part of a bigger problem, one that almost everyone falls into at some point in their life. It's not about just what you're financing, it's about how much of your lifestyle is built around spending every single dollar that you own. And that's why the next wealth killer we're going to be talking about is living above your means. It's one of those traps that quietly sneaks up on you, and it usually starts small. You get a raise, you start going out more, you upgrade your phone, maybe move into a nicer apartment. You see how none of those things sound bad on their own, but then once you put them all together, it sounds like you've upgraded your whole entire life. And that's when suddenly you're making more money than you ever have, but you're also spending more than you ever have as well. And that's what leaves you living paycheck to paycheck. Here's the truth, you can't out-earn bad spending habits. If every time your paycheck goes up, your expenses go up, you'll never move forward. The key is to lock in your lifestyle. When your income increases, keep your expenses right where they're at least for a bit, and invest the difference. That's how people quietly build their wealth, not by upgrading all their stuff. They let their money grow instead of spending it every time it hits their account. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Even if you're great with spending, living below your means, and staying out of debt, there's still one more thing eating away at your money every single year. It's something that most of us don't even notice until it's cost us thousands of dollars in a year. And that is inflation. Ignoring inflation is one of the easiest ways to lose money without even noticing it. People think that they're being smart by stacking cash into a savings account, but when inflation's 3 or 4% and your bank is paying you 0.5%, you're actually losing buying power every single year. $10,000 today won't be the same $10,000 10 years from now. Inflation doesn't feel like a big deal month to month, but over time, it quietly destroys savings that don't grow. That's why it's important to own assets that outpace inflation. Things like stocks, index funds, real estate, and even a business. Because the longer your money sits still, the more value it's losing. Saving money is important, but growing your money is what keeps you ahead. The only real way to fight inflation and build wealth is to make your money work. But this is where a lot of people get stuck. They're afraid to lose money, or they keep waiting for the perfect time to start. And that's what brings us to the last and maybe most damaging wealth killer of them all. The best wealth killer of them all isn't losing money, it's not investing at all. Most people think they're being safe by sitting on cash or waiting for the market to calm down, but that hesitation quietly has cost them years of growth. As we've talked about on this channel before, time is the most powerful tool of all. If you invest just $300 a month starting at the age of 25, with an average return of just 10%, you'd retire with over $1 million. Start at 35, invest that same amount, and you'd end up with half of that. Waiting feels safe, but it's actually the most expensive decision of your life. You don't need to be an expert, you don't need to time the market, you just need to start. Even small amounts consistently over time. Because at some point you'll realize the biggest risk wasn't investing too early, it was waiting too late. If you want more information about how to start investing, I highly recommend that you check out my video on how to retire a millionaire and the best index funds to own for life. Both will be linked down below in the description. So those are the 5 wealth killers that you need to avoid at all costs. High interest debt, car debt, living above your means, ignoring inflation, and staying on the sidelines. Most people fall into at least one of these at some point in their life, sometimes even more, and that's what keeps them stuck. But once you fix them, everything changes. Your money stops leaking away from you, and you finally start building real freedom. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stop doing the things that are holding you back and start doing the things that are going to push you forward. And if you want to know exactly where to start, check out more videos like this one on my channel. I try to explain things in the most simple and beginner-friendly way to understand. And hopefully it'll turn all this into real results. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I reply to every single one, and see you in the next one.